All right, guys, so there's a number of ways that I can transition into the open guard. The first thing, obviously, that I need to do is establish my grips, okay? And I want to have sleeve grips here. So I'm going to take a good sleeve grip. This is a pistol grip. That's a fine grip, or you can go with monkey grips. For what I'm about to do with the open guard, I want to go with a pistol grip. Okay. So now my first alternative that I have here is to step on the hip. Okay. The only reason that I don't like this option is that this gives him the opportunity to start smashing that leg down. Okay, and he can start trying to set up his passing. Now I might still omoplata him if he tries that, but if he's tight enough and strong enough, he's going to be able to give me some trouble by smashing that leg down when I step on the hip. Not that there are not times to step on the hip. Okay, there are, especially like if I'm doing arm bars, I'll step on the hip. But I'll always keep my knee tight up against the shoulder here. I don't like to have this, okay? And when I'm transitioning, his posture's up, okay? He's sitting up, and I'm transitioning into the open guard. I don't really have the option of keeping my knee up behind his shoulder when I step on his hip. Okay, so this is one reason why I don't like to step on the hip to transition to the open guard. Okay, my other option is to step on the mat. Okay, so if I'm moving my hips to my right, I'm going to step on the mat with my right foot, and I'm going to move my hips back. Okay, my knees come together, and I open the guard and step on his hips. That's a fine option too. I don't mind that, but it's a little bit longer takes a little longer than the option that I like. Okay, the option that I personally like is to just open my guard, and I'm going to turn my knees. Okay, my knees are going to create pressure on his side, and move my hips out just with that pressure that I create by turning my knees into his ribs and sliding my knee down his ribs into his hip. Okay? So one more time, just raise your hands up so they can see what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is this, okay? I open my guard and turn my knees and straighten that leg, and this lets me move my hips away. Okay? And it happens pretty fast. Okay? So I get my grips, I open my knees, and I'm in the open guard. Okay? So I open, move my hips out, my knees come together, and square back up, and I bring my shins right into his biceps, and I've got good pressure. And notice how far my hips are away from his hips. Okay, this is where I want to be. Okay? So a lot of times, he's going to be trying to posture up. Okay? We're trying to move toward me, trying to smash me. I'm able to keep the distance with my feet on his hips. And if he gets his posture too forward, he's breaking his balance forward. So he wants to keep good base here because I've got a lot of sweeps. Okay? So he's sitting on his base. Now I'm going to transition rather than to the omoplata like we did last week, where I go step. Okay, for the omoplata, I'm going to start to set up some sweeps. Okay, we're going to look at the scissor sweep, two variations of the scissor sweep, the knee push sweep, and the stiletto sweep. Okay, so starts with my grips, my hips, okay, and I've got the open guard here. Now I'm going to go to one side or the other. I'm going to have to go to his right side. I'm going to drop my grip on my right side, reach up for his collar, and I drop my leg next to his leg, my left leg next to his right leg as I get my collar grip here. Okay? So I'm here. I'm going to drop this grip, bring my shin in front of his shoulder, make my grip in his collar, come up on my elbow. Okay? He knows what's going on here. He's going to start to really kind of pressure. No, not in, away. Okay? The scissor sweep. The So somebody knows I'm going to sweep them this way. They're going to sit heavy on their base, get their posture up. Okay. So he wants to really sit back on his base. Okay. One more time. Nice and white. Nice white base. Okay. Good. Sit. Now let go of the grip. Come up. And I get my grip right here. Now I'm going to bring my knee from in front of his shoulder, and I'm going to bring it across to his opposite shoulder. Okay. So I go from here where I started. Now my shin's traveling diagonally from his hip across to his other shoulder, and he's sitting back, okay? So if he was sitting forward, okay, and he didn't have any weight on his base, like he was sitting up, okay, it would be easy for me to scissor sweep him because he doesn't have any weight on his base, okay? Because he's putting the weight down on his base, it makes it more difficult for me to scissor sweep him here. So I gotta bring his weight forward on top of me almost. Okay? Now, I don't want to lean back this way because I'm trying to sweep him this way. I'm gonna lay my weight down on my shoulder on this side. My elbow tucks into my hip, okay? And I'm gonna keep him close to my shin here, okay? As I lay back, I pull him forward so his weight's on top of my leg, and now I scissor my legs out. Okay?